All right, this is the preseason training tape for 2022. Just like in our clinic, we are going to focus a lot on mechanics, positioning, where we should be looking, and we're going to go over a little bit of philosophies on illegal shifts, illegal formations, and such, and touch on a few holding fouls, illegal blocks in the back, and we're going to finish with a couple targeting calls. So we're going to take a look at this first play. And we could see right now that the ball was snapped about the 32-yard line. So our referee should be 14 yards deep, which puts us about the 46. So this referee, is a couple yards too deep, and the width is, in my opinion, is way too much. We need to be, in this situation, we'd want to be just inside the hash here, because we have to judge by the free blocking zone whether or not the quarterback gets outside for intentional grounding. And on top of that, we know our keys as a referee is on a balanced formation, which we'll see that this is going to be with two receivers on each side. Our key is the tackle that is on the other side of the field. So if we get too much width, it's going to be very difficult for us to see that tackle on the head linesman side that we're supposed to be working with. Okay, so on this play, we'll see a handoff. And the way this should work here is the referee should work the front side. The umpire should work the backside. But what I want you to do is take a look at what the positioning by the deep wing, who is the field judge at this point, on the goal line, already waiting for the play to occur. And this is exactly what we want to do. We maybe want to be a little bit deeper, but I'm not going to nitpick, because what happens here is there's a face mask and the deep wing gets it. And it's a great job, because the deep wing gets this because they are in position, stopped, and officiating the play and not running. The face mask occurs there. Nice, calm flag thrown there. And this looks, really, really good whenever we watch this mechanically. This next play I put on here is just so we know that when the ball is snapped, if the quarterback drops the snap, it is not a fumble. It's a muffed backwards pass. So what ends up happening here is our referee whips the beanbag up here. And our beanbag is a spot for a fumble. Could be an enforcement spot. We throw our beanbag on end of kicks during scrimmage kicks on punts to know whether we need to take a foul from there or not. But if there's a fumbled snap, if there is a muff snap, whether it be hand-to-hand or shotgun, we should not be throwing our beanbag up. And we should never throw our beanbag. The beanbag should be dropped, mainly from the wing officials in those situations. But if we see here, the quarterback then picks up the snap, and our referee is a little bit too active here. There's no need to come up. Just stay back, because then the quarterback runs. And as I mentioned earlier, we have to have an opinion on the quarterback, whether or not there's something illegal happens, no matter if it's behind the play or down the field a little bit here. But the referee's in good position. The quarterback runs. He gets tackled from behind. He's there to be able to rule whether or not that hit is legal, late, targeting to the head. But what I would just say to referees in this situation, let's just take a deep breath. Let's not, on this situation, the snap is muffed. We can stand in our position and let the quarterback then run upfield. And since we're on that side, since it's a right-handed quarterback, we're able to see this a little bit better without having to move a whole heck of a lot on that. This next play is just basic fundamentals, okay? We have the referee and umpire doing what they're supposed to be doing and counting the players. And if you count the players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We have 12 in the punt formation, correct? So the referee and umpire do exactly what they're supposed to do. The snap is imminent. The snap happens. They throw the flag. Both of them. They kill the play for the 12 people on offense. And this is just, it looks simple. Hey, look, there's 12 people on offense, or there's 12 people on defense. But this is just being locked in, doing a pre-snap routine every time of counting the officials. And, the umpire doing the same thing, not just relying on the referee to count. The umpire's taking ownership on their fundamental mechanics to count the offense, and it's just a nice job here. Next play, it's another play about how the referee to rule on the quarterback, okay? So we have a quarterback. This team likes to run the ball with the quarterback. He runs upfield. So what we noticed is, I believe the quarterback is left-handed. So the referee is over here and then moves over to be able to rule on the quarterback, on the legality of any hit on this quarterback. So as you can see, the referee is coming behind the play. He could slow down probably right about now and still be able to watch the play. We don't need to get that close. We came across, and if our umpire is aware in a situation like that and notices that it's the quarterback, then the umpire will know that the referee is going to be coming this way and probably will be taking a lot of the blocking in the front. So then the umpire has to just sit there and watch the masses behind the play. But this is exactly what we'd like the referee to do, to be able to rule on the quarterback. Doesn't mean that they have to be right on top of it. I know the quarterback is a runner in this situation here, but this referee would be able to tell whether or not something bad happened to that quarterback just by the mechanics of happening. Just stay back a little bit more. This next play, again, let's look at the play. We're snapped here from the 46-yard line. So 46, 5, 10, 15 puts us here. So, right about the 40-yard line. But let's look at the width of the referee right here. The referee right now is actually as wide or wider than the widest receiver on this area. So the ball snapped just about the hash. We need to be right in this area here as a referee because, again, we're ruling, and this is a balanced formation. 2 receivers at the top, 2 receivers at the bottom. So what our keys tell us is our key is the tackle on the head linesman side. Look how long of a look it is for us with the width that we're at. If we're in a little bit closer, we see that tackle on that side a little bit better, and we're still able to rule on the quarterback. But this is another situation. The quarterback runs with the ball, runs up the middle, and the referee, jogs up the field, is in perfect position, perfect depth to be able to see the quarterback and what happens to the quarterback if there was anything illegal to happen to it. My only concern here, and it's just a minor one here, because we started so wide, we had to come inside and then work our way back outside. Okay, had we started where we should have started here, we could have just worked straight up the field here. Just minor adjustments that having ourselves in the correct initial positioning would allow us to have less movements and, be able to officiate the play a little bit better. Okay, so next we're going to move on to illegal shifts. And I know what the rule book says. The rule book says that if a person goes in motion and shifts or whatnot, more than one player goes in motion and shifts, that we have to have the complete stop for 1 second. So here you'll see this player goes in motion or shifts the same time that the linemen go down. Okay, so boom, we have more than one player in motion or shifting at this time. So 44 needs to set. 44 plants his feet, and then we snap the ball. And we throw a flag here for an illegal shift. And I think this is an area where we may be a little bit too technical. Is there a full second stop? Most likely not if we put the stopwatch on it, but he does stop. He stops enough for us not to call an illegal shift. It's nothing. There is no advantage gained in this situation. The running back comes back, plants his feet, then the ball is snapped. So this is a situation where we would like to see no flag called, because that running back does become stopped for, close enough to a second not to throw a flag. Next play, we're going to look at a forward progress play. And this is where, again, owning your position and understanding how it all we fit together with the rest of our crew really helps. So we're snapping the ball right now at the 10-yard line. So nobody really is responsible for the goal line, but both our head linesman and line judge should understand that if the goal line should become threatened, that we need to start moving back a little bit towards it to be able to officiate whether or not the quarterback or whoever gets the ball the whole way out of the goal line. So what we see here is the quarterback, goes back and sets up in a passing posture. So this is a left-handed quarterback. The referee is on this side of the ball. And we can see already our head linesman starting to move down the field. Our line judge should be holding the line of scrimmage, but should feel this pressure coming, which I'm pretty sure he does, because what happens is there's a hit in the field of play, and everybody's going to think, whoa, we have a safety here. Okay, and the referee does a great job here. He doesn't signal anything. The referee then takes a look and takes a peek over towards the head linesman, who is signaling that the forward progress was stopped in the field of play, which is exactly what happened here, because let's take a look at when the initial hit happens. Right there. The initial hit happens right there when the ball is at the 1 yard line. We don't want any cheap safeties or anything like that. So this crew does a great job mechanically to understand the situation and to put the ball carrier at the 1 yard line. And the referee, again, I'll reiterate this, doesn't go up with safety right away, because that person, as a referee, you're not judging forward progress. You leave that to the head linesman and line judge. So good job by this crew to get this play right and look over and spot the ball at the 1 yard line and not have a safety. Okay, next play. I think if you've been watching my tapes long enough and listening to me talk, you understand my position on sideline warnings. I'm not a huge fan of them. There's a time and a place for them, but this is a situation where a sideline warning is warranted and should be thrown every time. What we're going to see here is you're going to see this coach walk right in front of this official right when the ball is snapped. Okay. The official's in the middle of the white. That white is ours, especially now that the ball is being ready to go. But what happens here is as the coach walks right in front, the ball snapped. So if a defender jumps in the neutral zone or we miss a false start, it's because this coach walks right in front of you right when the ball is snapped. And this should be a simple, easy drop of the flag right here. Drop the flag, put down a sideline warning. You're not allowing us to officiate the play, the start of the play right. If you drop your sideline warning and this coach does it again, this is a simple unsportsmanlike foul on the coach. Again, don't go looking for this, but this is a situation where a sideline warning at minimum is warranted, and I'd support when you would throw this situation. All right, this one is where we have a play where the offense jumps and the defense jumps, and they're on opposite sides of the ball. So how do we handle this situation? So as we talked about in the clinic, we should stare at the football and allow the encroachment or the false start to occur in our peripheral to be able to officiate that play. So what happens here is the offense jumps, the defense jumps into neutral zone. So we're going to have a flag up here and we're going to have a flag down here. So this is a situation where we have to run both head linesman and line judge into the backfield and have a discussion about who moved first, really. Was it the offense? Was it the defense? And we have to come to a consensus prior to reporting this to the referee. And as we slow this down, really, the defense moves first, but is the defense that close to the neutral zone? So this is not an easy play to occur, to officiate and piece together. But if we're staring at the ball, okay, if you're the line judge at the bottom and you're staring at the ball, this person should come into your view and you can also see this. Whereas on the other side of the field for the head linesman, they may only see this and not this because of getting blocked out here. So again, it's a play that they call a false start. We slow this down and Xbox officiate this, and the defense moves first. But real time, it happens so close that if that's the case, if it happens that close and it's simultaneous, just put it on the offense for a false start, which is what the crew does here, and that is fine in this situation. Okay, ineligible is downfield. The rule is 2 yards. I know that we've talked about this a lot, and we're not going to start even looking to call this, but for 3 yards. But the call that usually this is done by is the off wing. And this is, again, I talked about earlier with the counting the players. This is where you don't take a play off. And what happens on this play is we have quads to the top, and the quarterback rolls to the top of the screen. So the line judge at the bottom of the screen, instead of taking the play off and say, look, there's 4 receivers at the top of the screen. There's nobody on my side. I can take this play off. That official decides to continue to officiate in this situation. And what happens is you can see right here, these linemen are already a yard downfield. We play a little bit longer. This lineman right here is now 1, 2, 3, 4 yards downfield. So right now we have an eligible downfield hanging. Once the pass is thrown and crosses the line of scrimmage, both the umpire and the line judge have a flag down for an eligible downfield. And this is a great job. This is not taking the play off. This is officiating the game the way we should and trying to help our crew. And this is just solid officiating overall here. Next play is illegal formations. Okay, so as you can see at the top of the screen, this receiver is on the ball, right? This receiver, we're having a punch back. So we're telling this receiver's off, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this receiver at the top, watch what the receiver does. Takes a quarter of a step back, right? And then what happens is this head linesman then puts the receiver off the ball. This is where game and situational awareness has to occur here. We're snapping from here, the 36-yard line. It looks like the receiver is just inside the, we're snapping on the 26-yard line. This receiver looks like he's just inside the 27. This receiver at the top of the screen right here is close enough for us to put them on the line of scrimmage, okay? Even with that little step back, let's not be technical in this situation, because if we put them on the line of scrimmage, in this situation we have a guard tackle, they're not covering anyone up. So we can put them on the line of scrimmage. They can be legal. The formation can be legal. And then after the play, looks like that the head linesman can go and talk to the head coach about, the alignment of the wide receivers. But overall, let's not be extremely technical in situations like this with regards to whether or not receivers are on the line of scrimmage or off the line of scrimmage on this play. Okay, next play, simple holding call, right? And fundamental mechanics. Umpires have center and both guards. Let's take a look at what happens. I think it's with this person right here, the left guard. We have a snap. 77 comes across right here. And what 77 does is 77 meets that person 76 head right on, right here, and actually knocks them backwards. But what the offense does is hangs on and drags the defense to the ground. That's, if we're talking about categories, that's a reverse takedown. That's enough to be called for an offensive hold. And if we're looking in the right spot as an umpire, that's right in our wheelhouse. And that's one that we should have for a hold. Next play, we're going to look at I think it's these two right here. If I'm not mistaken. And then if we look at it, it is the side judge's key. I'm sorry, it's actually this right here. This is the line judge's key. And this is where we have to know our keys, because what happens here is we have an outside grab by this receiver. And that's an indicator. And an indicator doesn't equal a foul, but it raises our level of awareness in this situation, because with this player right here having the ball, he's either going to cut up here, and this receiver is going to have to let go because this defender is going to try to go here, or this running back will then bounce to the outside, and then this becomes, again, the key block. So as a line of scrimmage official, our eyes should be focused solely on this matchup right here. And watch what happens with that matchup. It goes to the outside. No defender wants to make a tackle with one arm, like this one tries to do. That's a case where we have holding. We have an outside grab with a grab and restrict, and that's right in our area. As a wing official, we should have a flag down for a hold right there. Next play, we're going to look at the number 2 wide receiver at the top. And in our key situation here, this is the receiver we're going to look at. It's our head linesman's key. That's what the way our mechanics work. So we have a quarterback who's running to the outside. Nobody has them except for the referee, who, since this is a left-handed quarterback, the referee has a good view in on here, and that's his baby, and he's going to watch it. But I want you to watch what happens with this receiver here. This receiver gets beat to the inside by this defender and is in chase mode right there, and then shoves him right in the back. And that little shove in the back, we'll slow it down right here. This is the matchup we're looking at. That shove in the back right there is enough to knock that receiver off balance. I'm sorry, knock that defender off balance. That doesn't allow the defender to make a play. Even though he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage, that shouldn't have any bearing on it. It's a foul. We should have it called. And, you know, that's our headlinesman key. And if we're owning our keys, that's the call that we would have. We talked a little bit about punts and about finding the action on the second wave. And we'll take a look at the second wave, which happens. So now the punt is the way, and the receiver catches it. And in this situation, we're going to take a look at what happens in the 50-yard line. And we should have a look by both the umpire who makes this call and the line of scrimmage official who should be officiating the second wave. I'll slow it down a little bit longer. So what we have right here, look what's happening right here. So we have to be able to make a decision on this block that's going to happen right at the 50-yard line. So it might be a side block, but we also have a foul called an illegal blindside block. And since our umpire decided not to take the play off and watch that, he throws the flag and gets that foul for an illegal blindside block. And, you know, if we're just taking the play off, this just looks really bad. And it's like, how can these people miss it? And they probably end up yelling at the side judge in this situation up here. But the side judge has a lot of stuff going on in his area, whether or not the receiver possesses the ball, then moves on to this block. Do I have a illegal blindside block happening here? And then by the time that side judge transitions up here, it might be catching the second half, or you know, just sees that person fly by. But our umpire has key discipline, stays with the play, and is able to get that illegal blindside block here. Next play is a late hit out of bounds, and you know, it's a play that happens to the top of the screen. But again, it gives to our key discipline and our owning our position. And what other buzzwords I want to use? Not looking for the ball after the play. 33 runs out of bounds right here. 23 knocks him. We have a flag here by this side judge. Great job. He's not looking for a ball. He's officiating and dead ball officiating this play, because our head linesman coming up with the spot may not see this. You know, there might be stuff going on. There's a lot of players in front of him right here. He's looking for the feet of where the runner stepped out of bounds, but our side judge stays with the play, dead ball officiates, and gets this obvious late hit out of bounds. But it's because we do our fundamentals. Catch no catch situation in the back of the end zone. There's going to be a pass to the top of the screen. And, you know, we leave a little bit too early. You could see the side judge here leaves just a little bit too early, but, you know, ends up officiating this play the right way, feels it going deep. We have a catch. He's in perfect position to rule on this end line. Player goes to the ground. He watches him, goes up nice and calm. This is just textbook officiating and mechanics by this side judge at the top of the screen. Watch it again. Slow, whistle, goes up. Great job. Okay, this play is one we probably could have officiated a little bit better. So what happens here is they're gonna have a wide receiver screen that comes in here. And this is the danger of coming to the plays late and making an assumption in a situation. Because we're going to first start with what happens with this receiver and the linebacker that's scraping out. So the quarterback gets the ball. I'm sorry, it's the widest receiver. I apologize. So this receiver right here then comes in for a receiver screen. This one goes out. So this is a perfect opportunity to talk about keys. Okay. The side judge starts out with this key and the head linesman has this key. But the moment that this player comes in here and this one goes out to block, the side judge and head linesman will automatically switch keys, because the side judge is going to come out here, take this block. The head linesman is going to be aware of that receiver going inside and could they be held, because we know we can't have pass interference behind the line of scrimmage, but we also know we can have defensive holding. But what happens here is that wide receiver comes in, and this defensive back is reading the eyes of the quarterback and starts scraping laterally to intercept the ball and runs into the receiver right here. And what ends up happening is the referee throws a flag right there for defensive holding. And what I know what the referee saw this right here, arms around the receiver, and thought, oh boy, that linebacker held them. But let's watch the entire play. What happens here? Linebacker scrapes, runs right into them, and they fall to the ground. We should have a whole lot of nothing there. And this is where, if that's your key, which in this case, it would be the head linesman's key who's coming in, you got to pick up the referee in this situation and tell him, I don't have defensive holding because I saw that whole play from start to finish. So next we got to look at this tight end. Watch what this tight end goes out and does. And this is where the referee should be looking. Tight end goes out, boom, blindside block right in front. And we don't get it. And, this is another situation. Could the head linesman could have helped in that situation? Umpire, let's look at what's going on here. You have nothing to officiate right here. You have absolutely nothing. Could you have turned here and looked and saw that blindside block here? So what we ended up doing is we threw a flag for defensive holding, which we should not have done because there is no defensive holding in this situation. We missed a flag for a blindside block. So this is where... And we call the defensive holding because we came to the play late and didn't see it from start to finish. All right, last two plays. We're going to take a look at what happens at the top of the screen. I believe it's the number 1 receiver who comes inside. Yes, it is. So let's first look at what happens and what number 10 does right here. If you look at right off the bat, and we'll talk about keys here: side judge, head linesman. Right here in these keys here. Watch what number 10 does in this situation. Number 10 goes out and does chopping steps and is looking for trouble. So head linesman, if you're seeing this, you're thinking, oh boy, I possibly could have a pick here. But 10 does a good job, doesn't make contact, but then throws a pass high, and watch what this player does. Okay. And this is difficult. Don't get me wrong. The side judge probably has to look through a few people. But if you watch what happens, and this is a textbook situation where we have targeting, okay? That safety comes up, launches, hits to the head. Now, it is not targeting enough to eject the player, but it is targeting enough to have a 15-yard penalty in this situation. So watch here, jump, launch, hit to that's a defenseless receiver, and there's forcible contact to the head and neck area in that situation. So that is a situation where we should have called targeting. Not easy, but those are ones that jump out at us and should be called targeting. And this final play is one where we do have targeting called. And so take a look at, we're going to look at number 7, who ends up being the field judge's key in this situation. Number 7 is going to run inside, get the pass thrown to him, and the linebacker is going to launch and hit him right into the head. And you'll see the late flag come in from the field judge, and this is a really good call here. It's a tough call for the wing official because it might all be happening kind of quick to them. But as a wing, if you see, even though that is not your key, if you see anybody going inside, we should start to think about staying with that person. Because bad things can happen when receivers go inside, because they could be hunting, blindside block, a legal block in the back. But then in this situation, we could have possibly picked up this, but the field judge got it. Key discipline, good awareness, throws the flag in for targeting. Again, not an ejectable targeting, but enough forcible contact to the head and neck area of a defenseless player in this situation, which was the receiver, which is enough to have the targeting and a 15-yard penalty. So that's it for the preseason tape. For those working in the next couple weeks, good luck. And if you have any questions or comments or any other ideas that you would like to see in these tapes, please leave them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them. But I really appreciate everyone watching these videos and subscribing. The goal is not to point out and belittle the people who make mistakes, but just to learn from good plays where we have good officiating where we could have done a little bit better, but overall just to get better as officials each Friday night. So best of luck.